Hello, good night, everybody. I was trying to do share into the Facebook Live group, but for some reason it's not letting me share to the group. So I'm just gonna take a minute just to make a post over there so that they know that they have to come over on our side um to actually participate. So just give me a moment. Okay. All right. So we'll just get started. So tonight is gonna be on creating a cancellation form within TravelJoy. But before we start, please, I want everyone to put their mic on mute because I'm getting a feedback. So in that way, I can hear clearly, or you can hear me clearly without the echoing. All right. So for those who are new and don't know who I am, I'm Raquel. I am one of the regional trainers. And yeah, I enjoy doing these webinars live because it's a way for us to interact. And not only that, you're able to share live with when we have these type of webinars, anything that we are presenting on to ask questions and get more interactions, right? I personally love a school type setting webinar. I feel I learn more. And I know many of you agents, new and old, appreciate that type of webinar as well. All right. So tonight's webinar again is on creating a cancellation form. But first, we want to go into the reason why we need a cancellation form. And now we're not talking about the general cancellation forms that is a part of or proposals and all of that. I am more thinking on the line, we created, for example, you already purchased a package for your client, whether it be an individual package or just or could be part of a group, and now they want to cancel for whatever the reason is. I believe that as travel agents, we should have a standard form for that. And that is what we're going to go into. Why do we need a standard form, right? Um, First, there's 5 reasons for a cancellation form, right? Why you'd want to create one, I should say. Clarity, and documentation. A cancellation form provides a clear and documented record of the cancellation process, including the terms and conditions agreed upon by both parties. This helps avoid any misunderstandings or dispute regarding the cancellation policies, right? So, um, that's one of the reasons. Legal protection. So when you cancel, you're canceling a binding contract between the supplier and you as the middle person for that client, right? And you want to protect yourself as well as the supplier wants to protect their self. So you want to make sure when a client is canceling, you have all parties in mind, myself, the client, and the supplier in mind, right? So it's a legal protection. Having a formal cancellation form helps protect both the travel agent, the client legally. It outlines the rights and responsibilities of each party in case of cancellation, reducing the risk of legal complications and liabilities. Another reason to have a cancellation form, efficiency. A standardized cancellation form streamlines the cancellation process for both the travel agent and the client. It ensures that all necessary information, such as a booking details and refund policies, is collected efficiently, saving time and reducing errors, right? Um, then the fourth would be consistency, right? By using a cancellation form, travel agents can ensure consistency in handling cancellation across different clients and bookings, right? Whether it be an individual client or a group client, you just have a standardized form. This helps maintain professionalism and reliability, right? Um, and of course, it leads to increased customer satisfaction and trust. And then for the fifth reason, it's communication tool. The cancellation form serves as communication tool between you, the travel agent, and the client, clearly communicating the cancellation terms, the refund policies, and that would be like reiterating what the cancellation terms and refund policy is based on at the time of purchase, what it was, right? So it's very concise, it's very clear what the cancellation form is. Does anybody have currently a cancellation form that they use? Any of the agents on here, do you have a standardized cancellation form?
Thank God I've never had to use one. So no, that's a no for me.
No. Okay.
No,
All right. Anybody else?
no.
I
Okay.
have one. I haven't used it yet.
Okay. All right. And where did you make yours, Miss Vernell, in TravelJoy? Or just
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Yes,
Awesome, awesome. All right. So I'm gonna share my other screen in TravelJoy so that we can get to how it is that we're gonna create this form in TravelJoy. Share my screen. Are you seeing my TravelJoy screen?
No.
yes.
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 Okay, awesome. Great. All right. So in TravelJoy, we will go under templates because that's where you would actually create a form. For those who are new in to TravelJoy or new agents, some of our forms are already inside that we would use for business, that came over from when you signed up with TravelJoy under the Mommy and We brand. And so you have certain templates in there and forms that is just already there that you'll have to edit and put your information in there. But creating one from scratch, and I'll just show you what mine looks like, um, so that y'all can see what I currently have. And then we're gonna just create one together as a test, okay? So this is what mine looks like. I have the full name, right? I have the destination in which was where they were going, that they need to put there. If they have the reservation number that I've provided them already, they would need to put that in, but it's not, as you see, it doesn't have an asterisk, so it's not a required field, and stuff. Anything that has that red asterisk is a required field that they must fill out. They must fill out when the date of the trip was gonna start, and they need to provide the reason for cancellation. Um, and of course, if this is a group trip and they had a roommate or stuff, I've put on here that, the roommate acknowledgement. I have informed my roommate of my decision to cancel, because we know if there is a roommate involved, and the roommate isn't canceled, then you have to reshop that whole package together. And sometimes, and in most scenarios, it changes the price, because it goes by the price as of that date that you're reshopping it, and not the old price that it was, right? I have informed my roommate of my decision. I have not informed my roommate of my decision to cancel, or I do not have a roommate and I am solely responsible for this cancellation. Actually, I need to make this a required field, because I want them to definitely select one of this, right? So I don't have it as a required field now, but I need to put it as a required field. And then, of course, I have the booking terms. This is a client-initiated trip cancellation. And then I went in details and defined what the cancellation is, their right to refund, based up on their previously package purchase terms and conditions, right? Cancellation requests must be submitted via the Laugh Travel Live trip cancellation form. Laugh Travel Live is my business, so that's why I have that there. Cancellation form. As a result of the cancellation, Laugh Travel and Live LLC requires a 100 cancellation fee per traveler on hosted group trips. So if this is a hosted group trip, then that's my cancellation fee, which I also have in my original group trip terms and conditions, right? So in my original group terms and condition, this would have already been in it. So they already know that. So the supplier's terms and condition, and this is my business terms and conditions in terms of hosted trips, right? Group trips, that is. The third-party supplier used to secure the reservation or reservations may also require cancellation penalty fees. Please note, if you are sharing a room with another guest who cancels their trip, the entire reservation must either be canceled or modified and rebooked at the current market rate based on the new occupancy. The current market rate may be more or less than the amount of the original booking, right? Because we don't have any way of knowing that, and we have to just put all of that information there so that they are very aware, right? Each guest will be charged a Laugh Travel Live cancellation fee for the termination of a reservation. If you have questions or penalties are unclear, please contact Laugh Travel Live. And of course, it has my info there, right? My email info. Then it has the acknowledgement that they must acknowledge and stuff. I'm responsible for any associated cancellation fees that are outlined in the Laugh Travel Live schedule of fees for my voluntary cancellation of this trip, right? So the schedule of fees would be the original proposal, right? Terms and conditions. Remember, every proposal or invoice that you create should have the supplier's terms and conditions. And if you have for your business another set of terms and conditions, then that should as well be there. So for me, for my hosted group trip, I have that if you cancel your hosted group trip, separate and apart from the terms and conditions of the supplier, that cancellation would be $100 for Laugh Travel Live, right? For my business. So you would have had that on the original invoice proposals originally. So this is just kind of reiterating all of that you have agreed to, and just bringing it back to home when they're filling this out, right? And then the certification, which they must click, and on their side, they'll have the ability to sign this, right? Based on how we set up the template. I certified that I was the authorized user of the credit card used to book the research, planning activities, insurance, and any other component of this trip. I will not dispute the payments made with my credit card company, which may result in legal actions against me. So long as the transaction corresponds to the terms indicated on this invoice, right? So that is a way to protect me, to protect the supplier and the client, right? So when a client, I'll give you a scenario of something happened. And this happened just this week. I had a client that her card was misused, and she called to cancel her card, and in them going through all the items, she just told them she didn't know any of the items that was processed during that week that was in question. And so one of the items during that week was her payment to Apple Vacations for her upcoming trip that she has. And of course, because she initiated that, the credit card company sends whatever to Apple Vacation, and Apple Vacation reach out to me to state that they wanted the authorization that this client did for the funds that was because there was a chargeback to the card. And of course, I had her authorization, but before I even did that, sent it to them, I called her, right? So I'm like, I just got a call from the supplier saying that there's a chargeback, and she was like, oh, I didn't know that it was Apple Vacations. And I'm gonna segue into another reason on this as well. So she's like, I didn't know it was Apple Vacations. And because I had so many charges, I just told them not I didn't know about any of the charges. So I'm like, well, that has created a problem because now the supplier needs your driver's license, or a photo ID, I should say, 'cause it wasn't necessarily a photo ID, and they also need me to provide the authorization that you had authorized that charge. So I said, well, also what I need for you to do is also call back your bank and let them know that this charge to Apple Vacation, you actually this was not part of the fraud. So she did, and everything. But in TravelJoy, I was able to pull the authorization that she did for the card that she authorized, and all the relevant details that they were asking for. She sent in her driver's license, which I uploaded to email to Apple Vacations, and then that took care of the issue, right? Um, but say this was a trip that was canceled, right? I would have had her sent this form that she's canceling the trip. And so I would have this as my authorization saying that, yes, you cancel this trip, but however, there is this charge that remains for me that you're canceling the trip, right? So this is why, like, all your documents in terms of how you're doing business as a travel agent is very important, and why these forms are also important, right? Go ahead, Miss Vernal. You
Um,
had a question?
yes. How are you collecting your cancellation fee?
How would I collect my cancellation fee?
Right, if you're doing a supplier invoice, how do you get your cancellation fee?
So if this was a true cancellation and stuff, then I would request a commission link for that cancellation so I could charge it.
Okay,
All right. So
so I guess since you
go
don't
ahead.
actually hold the money, there's nothing to force her to use that commission link to pay it.
Well,
Nope.
that is true. Well, yes and no. So two things can happen. I can send her the commission link to pay it, or once she fills out this commission, once she fills out this trip cancellation, she has already authorized me to charge $100 to her card. So I can do it myself using the commission link. So I don't have to wait for her to or the client to actually do it, because if they're canceling and they fill out this form and they acknowledge and certify this form that and send it back to me, that's their authorization that they know that this will be charged. Does that make any sense?
It does, and I just I mean, it's great if you can get it, but let's just say they're in a penalty page, they cancel it, they're not getting any money back. Then I don't see what's going to make them do this. That's all, and that's came to my why I don't charge a fee, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah,
That
because
is true, but also it depends on which vendor you're using. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Say you're using Delta and you put that $100 fee. Yeah, that $100, it's $100, and you added that $100 to Delta
markup.
as the markup. It's non-refundable. And even if they cancel, they don't get that back. The agency gets it. So they'll
Okay.
still send out a commission check for $100 for that fee. So
Okay.
it depends on the supplier.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Nisha, you had something?
Yes, all right. I just had a question. In the verbiage that you had, can you reread that? Because was it saying that, I just had a question about it. Can you reread the verbiage that they have to certify?
Which one?
The one that
The
they have to check the
acknowledgement
box?
or the
Yes.
last one?
Yes, that one that says I
I
acknowledge.
certified that I
Yes.
was the authorized user of the credit card used to book the research, planning,
Okay,
activities, insurance, and any other component of this trip.
okay. I just wanted to hear the verbiage. You said the authorized user. That's what I wanted to, because I was like, what if they use somebody else's card or something like that? That's what I wanted to clarify in your verbiage. Okay.
Yeah, they have to be the authorized user.
Like if they use like their husband's card or they use something like that and they booked with that, like that's what I just wanted to clarify the verbiage that you had. That's all.
Right. Okay. All right. So let me show you what the form looks like. So that's all I have. It's pretty easy to set up in our thing here in TravelJoy, but I want to show you what the form looks like. So of course you can create embed the form, right? If you wanted to embed it on your website or something, you can also do that by clicking on the embed form and get that whole link, and you'll be able to embed it on your website. But another thing you can do is just like what you would do for your inquiry, is create a group, call it inquiry, create a group, call it cancellation. So anybody you send this cancellation form out to, then you'll have it here as once they submit a cancellation. Or if it's within a trip, you can actually put it within a trip too. So like, for example, I have a Bali trip coming up, and I put that cancellation, I added that cancellation form, embedded it into this trip. And so it comes up into the trip, and this is what it looks like. So if somebody wants to cancel, I can send them this, and they already know that it's their cancellation for their Bali trip, right? And this is what it looks like to them. So it's their name, the destination, reservation, the date, the reason for cancellation. They're declaring which one of this would apply, which I do need to make this a required field. So I need to make that a required field, so they must answer. Because if you don't, then if they don't answer it, then they can skip over it, right? And then this is what I mean. They have to sign it, right? So once they click I certify, they have to sign it and then submit the form. And then it would, because of how I have this into a group, the form would actually come into this group trip, right? Once they complete it, it would actually come over into this group trip. So let's create our own here, okay? So we're gonna start one from scratch, and all we have to do is click add a form, and we're gonna name it, right? And you can name it whatever you want to name it. And of course, we want certain fields, right? So the first field we want is the client's name, right? And it's just a matter of clicking on the fields, right? So once you click on the field, it will automatically select what is needed. All right. What else do you think we need? So I'm going to click and you guys tell me what we need to add.
Travel dates.
Okay, so let's add a date field. So to edit, we click there and let's call it travel dates, right? And to make it a required field, then you click required, right? That's what makes it a required field. And what other we're gonna add?
Reason why you canceling?
Okay, so let's make that a text field. And then, because remember, it doesn't have to be like mine. You can set it up however you want it to be, right? It's based on your model of business and what your model is, right? Reason for cancellation, right? All right. And then what else you want to add?
Someone typed in destination.
Destination. So let's put short term. And you want to make it required?
Sure. Yeah, I think that would be important because what if that client had two separate trips?
Correct. Exactly. So destination. Okay. What else you want to add?
6.
What if this was a cruise? What would you want to add? So let's do one that is
The cabin number.
Or cabin type, yeah.
okay. What about if we made a radio type field where they can select if this was a vacation package or was a cruise booking?
So you want to put the booking number there.
I was thinking more like a radio drop down where you select which one of the field would apply.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't
For the
familiar with the
booking.
radio group was. So yes, I guess that would be great to have.
So you could
Oh.
I guess you could put cruise,
All
All inclusive.
vacation
Yeah.
package,
Yeah,
because vacation package means air and hotel.
yeah.
Tour,
Sure, train.
what other one?
I was saying train or railway.
Railway. And maybe you could have something that says other, because you want to have the major stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they'll have to select which one it is for or you could also click let the user enter an unlist option that they'll be able to type in what it was. You could select that as well and it would do that there, right? All right,
Or
what
you
else
could
would
just say, what portion of your trip you're canceling, because they might just be canceling the excursions or what portion of the trip, and have them delineate that, maybe.
okay.
Because not everything is a total cancellation, you know?
That's true. So then we could put in here then for them to enter an option that's unlisted. Oh, I already have other.
I'm not sure if other is going to cover what she just said. I really do agree with that. Making it plain that, they want to cancel just a portion, like I just want to cancel the hotel portion of my trip, but I still want to keep my airfare.
But it doesn't work like that if it's a package. If it's a package,
Oh, it's all or nothing. Okay.
if it's a vacation package, once you cancel, you're canceling everything.
I get it. And then
You can't say, oh, well, they can rebook just for the air only, but if it's a package that they're canceling, then it's the entire package.
Then I guess, yeah, you're right. Then I guess the other would be fine.
Right? So if it's excursions that they can do by themselves, the excursions. Right? All right. So what else would you like to add?
I have a blurb about insurance. I asked them, do they have insurance? And then underneath that, they're certifying that they know that they have to submit a claim to the insurance company.
Okay, so you want to add a field asking if they had insurance?
Okay, let me read what mine says. Did you purchase travel insurance? Then I have
Okay,
the
so
little,
it's a yes or no.
no, there's 3 options, 3 little circles. Yes, I
Okay.
purchased insurance through my travel advisor. Yes, I purchased insurance through a third-party vendor outside of agency name. And 3, no, I declined all travel insurance. And
Okay,
then
that sounds good. So let's so what did you call that?
Did you purchase travel insurance? That's the title.
Okay.
And I don't know what you call it. If it's radio buttons, it's the ones with the little circle.
Yeah, it's
next.
the radio button. The other
Okay.
one is the select fee that has the drop down. Okay, so the radio buttons, and then the first one was what?
Yes, I purchased insurance through my travel advisor. Or I guess you can put agency name, whatever that code is, you know.
And I'll put your agency name so that you know what you're putting there, right? And then the other one is no.
Well, when you say you don't have to put your agency name, you can put that code and let TravelJoy pop it in. You know what I'm
What
talking about?
code?
Which is
What are you referring to?
there's a code that like
Oh,
what you
yeah.
Your name.
it's
Open
agency
quotation, agency, close quotations.
yes.
I think it is.
Yeah. Something like that. Let me look and see what mine got. Hold on.
I think that's so. Is it open quotation, agency, close quotation?
It's just capital agency underscore name.
Oh,
And I guess it's
under.
yeah. It's
So
no underscore.
underscore name.
Yeah.
Underscore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
And then what was the next one?
Yes, I purchased insurance through a third-party vendor.
That's a good one to have. Okay.
And the last one is no, I declined travel insurance. I mean, I know I already know that, but it's nice to have them, you know, to kind of dig it in that you declined.
Because
I
I
make them,
was just about to say, if you did it, you already know if they had
yeah,
travel
and I make
insurance.
them sign that they declined it, but the next part kind of speaks to that, because then I have a text box that says, by completing and submitting this form, I understand that I am authorizing the cancellation of the reservation, paren S, in case it's more than one, referred to above, and may incur penalties as a result of this cancellation. I understand that if I have travel insurance, it is my responsibility to obtain and submit all relevant information for my claim to the travel insurance provider.
Okay. Just send me that little spiel.
Okay.
Email me that little spiel so I can just copy and put it over here.
All right, hold on.
Is there a way that she can share that?
She can
In the
she
group?
can email it into the box. Just put it in our chat box and I can copy it.
I love it.
Okay.
It was so detailed, but very clear.
Well,
Hold on.
I meant like sharing the entire form with everybody on TravelJoy. I don't know if that's I'm still new. I don't know if that's an option.
I could.
Okay.
I
Yes,
could do
yes,
that.
we can. So I'll do this test one and I'll put it out there for share, and then you can change up whatever you want in it afterwards.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you both for the sharing that. That's
Wait, did I-
very helpful. I'm over here
did
trying
that
to type away. And
Okay, that didn't work. Hold
Thank
on.
you. Appreciate that.
Miss
Okay, it's
Berna,
not.
I wanted you to just
I'm trying to, but I put
put the
put
text
your.
information, not a screenshot.
Oh, I know it was. I didn't know what I was doing. Hold on. I guess I gotta go in like I'm editing it to be able to get to that text. Hold on. Build.
So in that way we can just place
Oh.
it right there. And
It'll see. It's not letting me cut and paste. I mean, it's not letting me. Oh, I gotta click edit. Sorry. You know, sometimes Control C. Now I go back to the Zoom. Click type message. Did that work? No. I'm only on one screen because I'm in my bedroom, so it's annoying.
All right.
Only the word content is typed. All right, let's try it.
So even with this, you see how different mine was from what Miss Vernal has. So it's really is based on what your business model is and how you really, want to do it. All right.
Yeah, because
And what was
my method of delivery is different from yours also. You put it in a group. I have a form email, and I have forms attached to certain emails. You know how you can do that in TravelJoy? So like this is my form 11, and it goes with my email number, whatever my email. And so they're like attached to each other, if that makes sense.
uh-huh.
So that's how I give it to them. So I just go to that contact, I click the email I want to go, and because it's like a little cover email, and the form is attached to it.
Okay.
So as we start picking more fields, would we want to add something that says, are you ready to book a different trip? And that way we're encouraging future business and not just saying, hey, I'm severing this and we're done.
Sure. I mean, that would depend on the conversation you're having with your client. Because remember, if they're calling and say, Raquel, I'm not going to be able to go on this trip, blah blah blah. You've already had that conversation with them as to the reason why they won't be able to go on the trip. This is really okay. No problem. I'm going to send you a form that I need you to fill out. And once you fill out, then I can proceed in canceling the trip on your behalf. So you would have already had a conversation with them. So, it's not like this is just solely for your comfort in them canceling the trip and having documentation. Yes, it wasn't just a phone conversation. It wasn't just a bare email. You have an actual form for this process.
I put in the chat my cover letter, and it sort of speaks to that. Future business.
Right. All right. So this is what we have so far. And of course, in order to make this form where they have to sign it, you have to go into the advanced option and you have to add the terms and condition and require a signature. So you have to click on this in order for it to have a signature. Where they actually sign the form, you have to click on that. And or if you wanted them to say for mine where I have the $100 cancellation, only if it's a group trip, a hosted group trip. A hosted group trip means that I am going on the trip with them. Then I have the ability to also add the client's card where they're going to authorize me as well to charge that $100. So I can do it this way as well. Remember you were asking about that, Miss Vernal? Are you guys hearing?
I was muted. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Yes. Right. So I have the ability to click on that, and then once they're processing this form, they can authorize that card for me to charge for the hosted group trip.
So is
So
is this
that's
share
another way to
template
do it.
with team members where you could add that and maybe save Parnell from having you or whoever from having to
Yes,
retype
so
all of that?
I can share this with team members. So that's why I was saying once I complete this, I can share it with you guys and you'll be able to have it. Okay? So let's look at what it looks like. So it has the name, the travel dates, reason for cancellation, destination. Of course, we'd want to change the radio group and make sure to put a title there. Uh, we need to correct that. Choose a group. Did you purchase your travel insurance? Yes, I purchased travel insurance. No. And then they'll be able to sign, right? Let's edit that right here, the radio group. What was this field again? We said it was gonna be choose
What are you canceling or what component or whatever?
choose cancellation component. Okay. And I would make this a required field too. So I'd make that a required field, and so that they have to choose something here if you're gonna put the travel insurance, right? So that's what it looks like. And that would be it. And of course, if you had yes, it looks good. Cancellation component. That's the name. Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
When you were showing us your form,
Mm-hmm.
I remember you had something on there in case there was a group trip.
Right. So for
to make-
mine, because I do hosted group trip, I make sure to have to actually add that notation in mine. So it could be useful. So I don't have to make like a different form, cancellation form. I just encompass everything. So because that fee that I said I charge is only for hosted group trips.
No, I wasn't talking about the fee. About if it's two people going in a group. If you ask the person that you were traveling with, did they know you were canceling?
Mm-hmm.
Where should we put that when we make I don't remember where you had it at on your form.
Oh, you can put
the
it
roommate.
you can put it anywhere, roommate. So
Okay.
you could add this, which I encourage. If you do group trips, make sure to have that on it. Because what if they had their friends? Yes, they booked for them and their friend, but the friend didn't even know that they were canceling. You know what I'm saying? Because that would prompt you now to call the friend. Even if they put that yes, they talked to the friend, I'm still calling the friend too, because I want to make sure you're aware that Janet is canceling her portion, and if you're still going, this is going to be reshopped at the current price, right? So I would actually call, but it's still good to have it there so that the person is selecting that, yes, I spoke, no, I didn't speak with my roommate, so that you kind of abreast of what the situation is ahead of time.
Now, what if the other one doesn't want to cancel and they say, oh, let me find somebody, and the clock is ticking like that? How do you handle that?
Well, so two things. It depends on the supplier that the group trip is for. So if it's just hotel only, where say for example you had a hotel only group package, you have a certain time that you can edit names and all of that without any penalty, right? And if you're still within that time, then, you know, if you give them the deadline in which they need to have that person, then you could do that. You know, they could choose to do that, but you have to let them know that, listen, even though the deadline is, for example, June 1st for me to get this second person that is going to be a part of your room, if we don't get it by June 1st, I will have to have a single occupancy for you, and it will be at the rate at as of June 1st, or the day that we're booking your single occupancy, because it may not be at the rate that you had before. It depends on if if it's a hotel only contract, it may be, you know, you may still have the same rate as the contracted rate for everything, and it's just a matter of telling her, well, the single rate is $200 extra, $400 extra, right? But if it is that you have to cancel the entire package, it's going to be reshopped at the current rate. And today's rate may be $500 more, $600 more. So you have to have that uncomfortable conversation with the client upfront so that they know when they're making their choices in terms of the cancellation, what is at stake.
Okay.
Any other
But
questions?
well, that doesn't so you still go ahead and give the roommate back her money minus fees.
If there's money to get back.
Okay.
It depends. Remember, it depends on what the cancellation policy is.
Okay.
What if the cancellation policy says no refund after a certain date?
Right. Well, that's why I asked the question. I was like, let's say the next day they're in penalty phase, and this girl asking for more time is going to, or guy is stopping the other one holding up her money. So really, I'm thinking I would have to say, I'm sorry, I got to cancel because the other one requested it. It seems like
Yeah,
roommates.
it depends on what the cancellation is, the cancellation policy of that supplier. Once one person wants to cancel, depending on the cancellation policy, then you have to have that uncomfortable conversation with both parties that is going on the trip and the one that is remaining.
Okay.
And this is why, for me, when there is two persons going on a trip, I always ask, or I always reiterate rather, the consequences of canceling. I always reiterate it, because I want them to know, listen, you're going on this trip with Janet. If Janet cancels this trip, the terms and conditions of this trip says you will lose your money, so get insurance. You know, so that's when I stress get travel insurance.
And I can definitely see how this would be important. That segment would be important with cruising, because it is, with Carnival, very difficult, sometimes impossible, to change a passenger's name once that contract is in play.
Especially if
Correct.
they're the lead traveler, they're the lead on
Or
the booking.
or the one that has the promo. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So it is super important to stress, you know, the importance of travel insurance, that if your roommate cancels and you're everything is, all the component is going to cancel, if that's a kind of uh situation it is with that supplier. But again, if it's hotel only, where it's a group booking, that you have a reservation for 10 or more rooms, kind of a contract, then you have a little leeway, right? Or say, for example, if it's like a culture holiday booking, you have a little leeway, right? So it just depends on who is the supplier.
Okay.
All right. So guys, you guys understood what the reason for the cancellation form is? And is there any other questions? Because that's gonna be our
Can you
webinar
show
for
your
tonight.
original form again? I want to see
Sure.
that verbiage about roommate.
Sure. Let me show you what it looks like. Preview it. So it says roommate acknowledgement. I have informed my roommate of my decision to cancel. I have not informed my roommate of my decision to cancel. I do not have a roommate and I am solely responsible for this cancellation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to add that to mine. I like that.
So that is it. Any other questions?
No, this was very informative. I thank both you and Ms. Burnell.
You are so, so welcome. All right. So I will share the template and then you guys will be able to find it in your templates. And yeah, if you guys can, work upon it, you can edit it, make it your own, because once you have it in your back office there, you can change it to whatever. It doesn't affect anybody else's, okay?
All right,
All right,
thank you.
so you guys have a wonderful night and thanks again for joining our
Thank
webinar.
you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.